Hey guys, it's Jeff from Pressure Luck, and it's been a while since I made a red meat dish in the Instant Pot, so we're going to change that by making another one today. So this dish is one of my favorite things in the world, and it's basically a mixture of a London broil cut of meat with an amazingly tangy barbecue sauce over some delicious garlic bread and then topped with some cheese with that amazing barbecue sauce we're going to make, coating everything else. And I'm telling you now, it's phenomenal. It's called Steak Tidbits. Now, again, this is one of my favorite things in the world to eat. I have no doubt if you guys like some steak in your Instant Pot, and not like a filet mignon, I'm not talking about that, you wouldn't put that in your Instant Pot, but like a London broil, this one's for you. And it's gonna be so good, you're gonna lick your fingers dry. So, without any more delaying, let's get right to our delicious Steak Tidbits. So I'm going to start with 2 pounds of a beef top round, or like a London broil cut. Use that kind of a cut. Then I'm going to take some kosher salt and I'm going to rub it in onto each side of our meat. And rub, dub. Give that meat a nice good rub down. And then flip it over and do the other side. Now we're going to turn on our stove. I'm going to put it on about like a medium heat here, right around here, and I'm going to make sure that I heat up a nice sized skillet that can hold my London broil or beef top round. I'm doing this in a nice skillet on the stove as opposed to in the Instant Pot because I feel like it sears the meat a little bit more evenly on the stove than in the Instant Pot. You can of course use the Instant Pot yourself if you want, and it's up to you, but I'm going to do it this way. And then after a few moments of heating up, let's place our meat inside the pot and sear on each side for about 1 to 2 minutes. It's smelling really good in here. And after about a minute, let's check out our meat, and that's looking good, so I'm going to flip it over and get the other side. Perfect. And once it's all seared, we'll take our meat and transfer it to a cutting board. There we go. Seared on each side, and now I'm going to slice it. I'll slice it up into strips about this thick. And you'll see that while it's cutting, it's not at all cooked in the middle, obviously, but we don't want it to be because we're going to cook it inside the Instant Pot. But that's exactly how it should look for now. So just keep cutting into slices about this thick. And there we go. Perfect. Just like this, all set and sliced. We're going to leave this here for a few minutes while we now tend to our sauce inside the Instant Pot. So to our Instant Pot, let's add a cup of a light brown sugar, 1 cup of ketchup, a cup of apple cider vinegar that I poured into the measuring cup of the ketchup just was to get some of that sticky ketchup remnant out of there, and add that. 1/3 of a cup of a yellow mustard, just use the yellow kind, and if you hate mustard, don't worry about it, you're not going to taste it, it's just simply an ingredient in this delicious tangy barbecue sauce. 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, how do you even say that? Worcestershire, Worcester, whatever, you know what it is. 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, or really any salt will be fine. Hello, what about me? I'm also going to add in about 1 tablespoon of honey. Now let's come down to our Instant Pot and hit saute, so it's on the more or high setting, and we're just going to, as soon as it gets warm, just begin whisking all the contents. So let's just whisk everything up in there, and it's going to form our delicious tangy barbecue sauce. And we're going to want to give it a little bit of heat. Like I said, we're going to want to bring it to a little bit of a simmer. And now that we have some bubble action going on, we're going to add our meat. And there we go. And now let's give everything a good stir. So get all of our meat nice and coated with our sauce, and then just kind of let the meat just lay there so it's kind of submerged in it, not really laying necessarily like on top of each other where it's iceberging too much. A little bit of iceberging like that is just fine. And when I say iceberg, you know what I mean. Like, you know, like when the Titanic hit an iceberg, like that. There you go. So perfect. We're going to now add our lid on. Secure the lid. Make sure we're in sealing position. Alright, now come down here and hit keep warm cancel, and then hit manual or pressure cook depending on the model you're on. There we go, and I want it on high pressure for 9 minutes. Now, the choice is yours. If you want it a little more well done, go up to 12 minutes. But I like mine a little on the more tender side, so 9 minutes it is for me, but the choice is yours. Now, while our meat is cooking, we're going to prepare our garlic bread base. Yeah. Preheat that oven to 350 degrees. So to make our delicious, amazing garlic butter juice spread for the garlic bread, we're going to take a bowl, and to that we're going to add 2 tablespoons or 1/4 stick of salted butter, 1 tablespoon of crushed garlic, and 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Pop it in the microwave for about 30 seconds until everything is all nice and melted together. So it should look like this when all said and done. And now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of dried parsley flakes. And let's just mix everything up. Great. So let's take this beautiful loaf of Italian bread and just cut it in half long ways. After you're done cutting it, just make sure that if you can, leave kind of the bottom part like here intact where we don't cut all the way through, so it's still sort of attached to each other. You see what I mean? So it's still attached, and just leave it like this. And taking a baking sheet that's lined with tin foil, let's transfer our bread right on top of that and begin now to brush on that delicious garlic butter juice. Perfect. Now let's get the other side. And it should be just the right amount in the bowl for an entire loaf of bread. Perfect. Waste not, want not. Now we're going to top it off with some grated Parmesan. Right? Let's just sprinkle some of it throughout. And perfect. So now I'm going to put the bread together, and I'm going to cover it with our tin foil, and I'm going to pop it in the oven for about 10 minutes. So our oven is now nice and preheated, and I'm just gonna pop this in there, like I said, for 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna take it right back out. And look at that, still 6 minutes to go in the cooking time. All that prep can easily be done while our delicious meat is cooking. Don't really feel like making your own garlic bread though and having to deal with, the brushing on of all the butter and all that stuff? Don't worry about it. You can just get one of the pre-made ones at your supermarket in the bread bakery section. Now, why do I have this if I made my own garlic bread? It's a snack for later, alright? Now that we're done cooking, we're going to allow a 3-minute natural release followed by a quick release. That means this is going to count up to the number 3, and then we'll finish it off with a quick release. In the meantime, let's get our bread out of the oven. It's all said and done here, and we're going to take the tin foil off. And there we go. Now let's open our bread up. Looking good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this up to broil, and I'm going to reopen the oven now that it's open face and pop it back in for a few minutes. We'll keep our eye on it, checking every so often for about 3 to 5 minutes, or maybe between 2 to 5 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. We want it to get slightly toasted. Alright, we've hit 3 minutes, so let's do a quick release. And our pin just dropped, so let's take our lid off, and whoa, there's our beautiful, beautiful beef. Looking good. Let's transfer it to a serving bowl. Alright, I'm going to take a slotted spoon and take our delicious beef here and just transfer it into a serving bowl while we're going to thicken our delicious barbecue sauce up with a little bit of cornstarch. There we go. Alright, so now let's add the cornstarch. We're going to take 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 2 tablespoons of water and then mix them together until it's nice and smooth. Perfect. Now coming back to our pot, let's hit keep warm cancel, let's hit saute switch on the high setting, and let's let the sauce bubble. In the meantime, our bread is looking perfect, so we're going to take that out of the oven. Perfect. And let's leave it on actually, because we're not done yet. Let's just leave it there to rest. Rest, my beautiful garlic bread. Rest. Once the sauce begins to bubble, let's add that cornstarch slurry in and stir it up real good. Give it all a good stir so it mixes in with our barbecue sauce, and it's going to thicken it up real good. So let this bubble for about 1 to 2 minutes. And then after about a minute or 2 of bubbling, you're going to see it's going to start to really thicken up. So what we're going to want to do is then turn our heat off, is turn the pot off, and then just let the sauce simmer down. Okay, so now I'm going to take my garlic bread and lay it out over here, and I'm going to take my meat and then just lay it over the garlic bread in strips. And as you can see, I'm leaving a little bit of spacing in between, and you're going to see why in just a moment. And you can rip some of the strips in half to make them all fit nicely on, so we kind of want it to look like that with a little bit of a gap in between each piece, and you're going to see why. But first, back to our sauce, which is now thickened up very nicely to the perfect consistency. We're going to drizzle this delicious barbecue sauce over our meat and over the bread. Look at that, looking good. There we go. So it should really look like this when all said and done. You're gonna have some extra sauce, but that's a good thing, so you can just bottle it up and put it in the fridge and it'll last for a few weeks in there. This is delicious, this barbecue sauce. Now, it wouldn't be Steak Tidbits without one crucial ingredient, and that would be some sweet Munster cheese, or really any cheese if you're liking, but I'm gonna put Munster on top. Lay that cheese, please, all on top of everything. Use however much you think you need. This packet comes with 11 slices, and we're going to be using most. And that is 10 slices of Munster cheese on top of that. Thankfully, there's one remaining, and I'm going to snack on it. And we're going to pop this deliciousness right back in the oven for about another 2 to 3 minutes until all that cheese is broiled and melted. See you soon. And while that's cooking, I'm gonna take some of this extra sauce and I'm gonna pour some of it into a ramekin for dipping on the side. All right, let's check on our, oh, wow. Oh my gosh, look at that. We are all set, guys. We are all set with our steak tidbits, and we are going to just let these sit here for a minute, and then we're gonna serve them up. Is that beautiful or what? I mean, let's get a little bit of a close-up shot of this beauty. Oh, wow. Is that gorgeous or what? All right, I'm gonna cut some of this up and put it on a plate for myself. And there we go. And right onto a plate you go. Look at all that cheese. Ooh, yes please. Okay guys, there's a steak tidbit. Here's my knife, here's my fork, and it's time to cut inside of this thing of beauty. Oh, hear that crispy garlic bread already. Oh, here we go, here we go. There's a lot going on in my mouth right now. The marriage of this beef with that delicious, unbelievable barbecue sauce over the garlic bread and that Munster cheese on top. I love it with Munster cheese. You can use mozzarella or provolone if you prefer instead, but I wanted to do Munster. It's incredible. It's outrageous. I mean, the meat is absolutely phenomenal. Outrageous. It has this wonderful tangy, cheesy, meaty, garlicky, buttery flavor all in one. I mean, look at how beautiful that is. And this thing is going to feed a lot of people, as you saw. That thing could easily make 6 servings, I would say. And the best part is, once you get like down to the nitty gritty, you can just eat it like it's this open-faced, amazing steak cheese barbecue sandwich. Oh yeah. Stop the presses. I'm gonna eat this entire thing. And the bread is like the icing underneath the cake, if you will, because it complements it so perfectly with that little crunch. Listen to this. Man, that's good. I mean, it's so good, guys, but just don't take my word for it. Let's go to the peanut gallery.
It's pretty good. Really good.
Wow. It's delicious.
The meat's very good.
The meat is very tender. And this sauce, oh my God. So
Great
good.
sauce.
Look at that on the Hanukkah plates and everything. It's not even Hanukkah.
It's not even Hanukkah.
Right between Rosh
What a
Hashanah and
delicious
Yom
meal.
Kippur. Look at oh, Kevin, you look so good on camera, and Richard and everything. There we go. I'm glad you guys enjoyed
It's
it.
so good.
And if you want more of the sauce, you can just dip it in that extra sauce I set aside. There's plenty left. It's perfect. Guys, if you like this video, if you enjoy these easy to follow recipes, go to pressureallcooking.com. I have tons of recipes there with only more and more coming. I have a blogging section there with some tips as well. I have essential products you might want for your Instant Pot. Go ahead and shop there if you'd like. I'm an Amazon affiliate and excellent prices for you. Like my Facebook page, go there, facebook.com/pressureallcooking. I just surpassed 40,000 likes, which is insane. So I guess something is going on right over there. I have tons of live content. I do a Facebook Live video once a week. I do meme pictures. I answer any questions you have. Check it out. And Instagram, Pinterest, all that stuff. Pin any recipe you want to any board from my website. Just hover over. You know how it works. You know the spiel by now. And I'm telling you now, steak tidbits are the shiznits.